came from Jesus.
Today's word is reciprocity. Reciprocity. Don't ask me to do a damn thing that you wouldn't do for me.
Now I'm going to dive right into this story from the Glock. No, from the beginning. Now listen, this woman met a man. She was with him for 5 months. She said they were in love, but he was pursuing her a year prior. She decided she hadn't seen him for 10 days, so she decided to go check on him, to just pop up on him to surprise him where he was. He kept telling her, he was taking care of a sink. Yeah, she was with a whole Bob the Builder for 5 months and didn't know
Okay,
it.
so before I go into all the details, which I don't know if I even want to share every single thing because it's wild, I'll go through the day. So, as y'all saw in the beginning, that was literally the TikTok of me so happy in the beginning because I was going to surprise him. And I literally had even though my gut just missed him, I really just wanted to see him. I was not thinking nothing. So I literally was on my way. Was videotaping me on my way to go see him. So, which I didn't see, of course, I didn't record, was, okay, so the ride there, he kept calling me. So we were on FaceTime and he literally kind of like, listen, I can't lie to him. Our communication as far as talking to each other, we usually tell each other everything. And when I was like driving and he called me the second time, I was still in the car, he was like, where you going? And I was like, I'm going to see my man. And so basically the pop-up turned into him knowing that I was coming. And the plan was I was going to go to my cousin's house in Charlotte, and his place is an hour and a half away from Charlotte. So, of course, he was like, babe, I don't want you coming all the way to the mountains, because he lived like further up in the mountains in North Carolina. And he was like, in the place is a mess, like all the construction and different stuff because they gutted it out. And he was like, I don't want you, here. And he said, I'll meet you in Charlotte and we can go watch the game. And I was like, well, my cousin is, her friends are having a Super Bowl party, and then found out my other cousin was doing a Super Bowl party. So he was like, we can go to one of those. So it was planned. So as I'm heading there, he's calling me throughout the day, but he say I'm working on the sink. So he's working on the sink. And I was like, why are you working on the sink and you paid these people to do all this work? So that was first red flag. And so he was like, no, he said, because I want to try to get this together, because I want you to start coming out here. He want me to start coming out there. Wow. Just think about everything. I don't even know what to believe. I don't know what's the lie, what's the truth with this man. So anyway, it's probably gonna be another part 2, part 3. So anyway, he's working on the sink. So as I'm getting an hour and a half away, which he's an hour and a half away, I was like, won't you? And he's like, well, I'm gonna come so that we can get there at the same time, because he missing me, I'm missing him. Like, when I tell you, this man had the biggest smile on his face just knowing I was coming. And first he was like, you're not coming here. When he realized that I really was coming, he was really excited. So I'm like, okay, this turned into a good thing. I'm about to see my baby. I haven't seen him in a couple, like 10 days, almost 2 weeks. And I'm like, this is crazy. We never been apart that long. No matter how much he traveled, no matter how much I travel, we never been apart that long. So when I get there, I get to my cousin's house, and it's about 4:30, almost 5 o'clock. And I called him, and he was like, he's still at the house working on a sink. But like, for part 2.
Now, listen, this is usually the preliminaries of a relationship. And in this phase is when your intuition is most heightened. So she suspected something. In these cases, your discernment is supposed to be your protection. But what she did, I wouldn't advise any woman to do. Even though men like confrontation, this could be very dangerous.
So part 2. So that was like weird to me, but I was like, well, he really wants to start getting the house together so that I can start coming out there, so we don't be apart too long, whatever the case may be. Because he said after he starts getting it done, he'll be back in Atlanta, because he has an apartment out in Atlanta too, so he says. And then he would be like visiting me. So I get to my cousin's house. It was like 4 o'clock. and like 4:15, and I called his phone and he was like, babe, I'm almost done. And he was outside, and I thought that was weird that he was outside. And he was like, he told, like, I'm trying to find this pipe to turn the water off because I done did something, I done messed something up. And I said, that's why you should have left it alone. You should have been messing with it. And I'm just laughing and making. I said, your girl is an hour and literally 15 minutes away from you, and you were at a sink for something that I'm not even gonna see for a while. Bring your behind. And so he's like, I got you. So he's like, I'll be to you. So he was like, I'm gonna call you back. So then I'm sitting there, I'm talking to my cousin, we laughing, kiki and catching up. And he texts me and he's like, I'll be to you around 7. And so I show my cousin, we both go, 7? It was like, what? Like, I haven't seen you in 10, 11 days. I'm an hour away, hour and 15 minutes away. You worry about a sink that you're supposed to be paying other people to do. First, that was weird, really weird. So, mind you, he stopped the pop-up, so I was popping up. I literally was at my cousin's house waiting. So, I was like, well, I'm tired. I'm going to take a little nap. I said, he better be here by 7. So, at 5:39, I can remember, like, cause I'm going to show y'all the text messages. He literally texted me. He was like, babe, I got so scared. Something happened, water leaking everywhere. I had to call somebody to come and help. And he's like, please give me a second. I promise I'll be there. So I'm like, excuses is getting weird now. And so I'm like, what's going on? And so I'm shaking because, like, woo, sigh. So that was the last text message. That was at 5:39. So about like 6:30, he's supposed to be there at 7. 6:30, I called him back to back to back. He did not answer the phone. It's like, what? Why you not answering the phone? Since when you don't answer the phone for me? And now everything is, all the math is mapping up. The times that he fell asleep, the times that his phone died. It's like all the stuff, like the things that you don't pay attention to is all starting to math up. So anyway, you're not answering the phone. So I'm weirded out now. I'm so close. It's not like I'm in Atlanta. I'm right here. At this point, now you're about to get the pop-up, like for part 3. And his wife answers the door. What?
This is what I was talking about when I said these situations can turn out badly and they're dangerous. And it can turn out badly for all parties involved. Yes, his wife answered the door. And you'll get further into the story. You'll see. His wife answered the door. And this man could have left that house before that woman got there. But as I said prior, men like confrontation. The best thing that could happen to a man and the best ego boost for him is to have 2 women fight over or fight for his so-called affection. This is it. Because he could have left that house and he would have known his wife and how she would react.
I woke up this morning thinking that I was going to be feeling better. And I know I am. I'm healed from this. But I woke up this morning angry. People were saying, like, I'm looking at some comments about, oh, he probably just wanted sex. No. In the 5 months we was together, we didn't start having sex until like the 4th and 5th month. When we went to Vegas, I had made him like wait, and then we had just started, like we did something when we went to Vegas. After him waiting, he was a gentleman. This man, he knew that I didn't want to just sleep with him. He knew that I wanted to, like, he knew that I wanted love first. This man carefully loved on me. This man took care of my mom when she was not feeling well, came and cooked for us. This man has met my grandmother. This man has been around my family. This man has been at my shows, supporting me publicly. This man has intertwined his life, himself in my life with intentions of saying I was his future wife. And all the time, he already had that. When I got to that house and she was so angry, she cursed him out. I never talked to him that way. We talked to each other, king and queen. We called each other king and queen every day. That lady was angry. That was 7 years of hurt. When she pulled that gun out on him, and then she pointed it at me, I wasn't even scared. I was so hurt. I was standing outside crying. I stepped back from the porch. I didn't want to be on her porch. Out of her respect. That lady said that was her house. That lady said those were her two cars. She said this is her shit. This man has lied to me. I don't know what to believe. The man said that he's not married. That lady is probably the mother of all his children, everything. When she pointed the gun at me, it wasn't, I don't even think her anger was towards me, but she did point it at me. But I was so far back. This man wouldn't even come outside. When he came outside, he got in his car and he drove off. He said he drove off to protect me, because if he probably would have came to me, she probably would have shot both of us. But he drove off, and I went and I got my car right after that. This lady thought that I was going to bring people to, like, I'm so angry and hurt. I would never, he can't even touch me with a 10-foot pole. I'm done. I'm done.
I feel for her. I'm not going to knock her because no one knows. You know, we always say what we would have done because we're not in that situation. And when emotions are invested, I mean, it is a different reaction you'll get. But yes, I do believe that a lot can happen in 5 months in a romantic relationship to make you feel like you're so in love with that person, you know? But there are always red flags. I am sure she was not able to call him at, if you can't call them after hours, you're not able to reach them on their phone. These are all red flags. What about the holidays? Did he spend the Christmas with you? It is a growing, budding new relationship. All of these things are red flags. But when you're experiencing that euphoria of this so-called being in love state of mind, you decide to not acknowledge what is obvious. I am sure there were things that were telling her that there was something that wasn't right. That is why she took the chance to drive to his home. Listen, she did not go there just on a whim. There were things, and this did not come about just because she did not see him for 10 days. I'm sure that there were other things leading up to this because it was 5 months. It was a fast-paced relationship. Now, ladies, another thing. Men can be vetted. People can be vetted. I believe that, and I stand by that. Because as humans, we judge others off of patterns of behavior. And we don't exist in a vacuum. So there will always be someone who knows you or knows someone who knows someone. So don't ever say that people cannot be vetted. Nonetheless, your actions should be intentional. And it's unfortunate that even when you get into a committed relationship, you still have to be of the mindset that things can happen. There are those idealistic people who will say, "Oh, but that is mistrust, and you shouldn't be with someone if you don't trust them." Listen. The only person you can really trust is you. Some people don't even trust themselves. What I'm saying is coming from a place of reality. You have to recognize what your reality is. When you create your own reality, when things like this happens, it messes you up.
I said what I said.
Anyway, this should serve as a cautionary tale for all of us, for everyone. For those people who are considering getting into a relationship, and even for those people who are already in established relationships. Ish happens. More importantly, people are never really who they say they are. And that is sad. Anyway, as always, stay safe and to be self-aware, and subscribe for more snippets of wisdom and real talk.